For those of you who do not know me, my name is Rusty Moore, and in 2016 I launched this ministry called Christian Task Force Ministries, with the objective of empowering the modern day Christian soldier by equipping them with the revelation of God's truth in and through His anointed word. Sadly to say, many Christians are monumentally ignorant of not only who they are, but who God is and what they have been chosen to do and chosen to be. Whether you realize it or not, you are part of a heavenly army, and you have been endued with power from on high to launch an attack against Satan's lie that it would be consumed completely. And the only thing that can do that is the truth of our heavenly King, who is Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to wish you all a happy new year. In 2022, I know that we are going to be experiencing some very interesting things concerning moving and relocation, transformation, salvation, acceleration and elevation, but it's also going to come significantly with adversity. And something that I want to discuss with you today, I want to kind of do something new this year. I want to kind of implement some videos and just some quick teaching real quick. But in your Bible, if you have it or you want to go to it later, in Matthew 16:21, this is Jesus speaking. He says, "From that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things." Whether you realize it or not, I don't know how long you have been walking with the Lord and communicating with the Lord, but you should know by now that being a Christian or a Christian, you are going to have to suffer many things. If Jesus was not excluded from this fact, then how can you expect to? And Jesus said, "I must suffer many things." The Christian walk does not come without adversity. And he said, "I must suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed." Now I'm going to ask you a question. If you knew what God had told you to do involved you being killed, would you actually go through with it? So many Christians today are all talk, but there's no walk. And when push comes to shove, it will actually prove to what you actually believe, whether you have set your affection on things beneath or on things above. But Jesus said and knew that he must be killed, but he knew that he would be raised again the third day. But this is the point I want to point out today. In verse 22, "Then Peter took him," Jesus, "and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto you." I want you to understand the synopsis of this situation. What Peter is saying to Jesus, the implication is, pity thyself. What it means is Satan was trying to get Jesus into a mentality of feeling sorry for himself for what he was going to have to go through. And so many of us today will have what we call a pity party. And that spirit is not of God. And notice what Jesus says. And we know it's not of God because Jesus says to Peter, he said, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Satan was operating through Peter to provoke Jesus into a mental state that was not heavenly, nor was it godly, and therefore it was trying to cause disruption and corruption, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And unfortunately, we so many times yield to that spirit because of the state that we're in, because of the adversity that we're in. Jesus said in verse 21, he said, I must suffer many things. And I want you to think about this scenario, and I'll close with this. No matter what has happened in your life, it does not compare to what Jesus Christ went through when he went to Calvary's tree. And I want you to picture this, if you can, in your mind. Imagine the worst thing that you've ever been through. And somehow, supernaturally, God takes you back in time. And right before Jesus is taken to Calvary's tree, he is marred, he is scarred. You can't even recognize him. Isaiah said he was so badly beaten, they couldn't even recognize him. Blood running down his face. Eyes swelled shut. Imagine yourself with whatever situation that you have been through that is so bad that you are throwing a pity party, and you sit down with Jesus at that moment in time. Would you actually try to convey unto Jesus at that time how bad your situation is? Church, it is time for some self-examination and self-evaluation concerning our situation. No matter what we will go through in this life, it does not compare to what Jesus Christ himself went through. What he suffered in those few hours was enough to last a lifetime. And in our lifetime, nothing will be able to compare. So remember this, when Satan tries to provoke you into a spirit of self-pity.